AI has revolutionized how we work, enabling more innovative ways to get things done. And one area where this is seen a lot is in the software development lifecycle, where there's an increasing need to get software in the hands of users faster, efficiently, and securely. GitLab Duo is a suite of AI-powered features that improves the efficiency and effectiveness of your developers. I'm Abubakar Siddiq Ango, a developer advocate at GitLab, and in this video, we'll be looking at GitLab Duo Chat, the AI-powered personal assistant that boosts your productivity. When AI is mentioned in the context of software development lifecycle, the first thing that comes to mind is code generation and suggestion. Oh, as you are typing your code, it brings you suggestion based on the language you're using and the context. GitLab Duo offers these code suggestion features and a host of others like issue summary, merge request summary, discussion summary, and even security features like vulnerability explanation and resolution, and also root cause analysis when your pipelines don't build properly. Now, GitLab Duo Chat takes this further by giving you a chat window where you can interact with different parts of your application. While in the Web IDE, you can refactor your code, you can explain certain parts of a code, and even ask questions or help to generate certain things like tests or generate code or seek some explanation based on the context of your application or just to ask a question. But GitLab Duo Chat goes beyond just helping you within your IDE. It can also help around GitLab itself. Oh, you are looking at an issue and there's a lot of comments in it, but you want some context or some specific information that ordinarily you have to read through all the comments to understand it. Or you are looking at an epic and you need some specific answers. Or you are looking at a file and you need some answers that you don't have to necessarily open the Web IDE, but just on the interface. So these features allow you to just not only work within the Web IDE or not just for technical users, but any user of GitLab to be able to interact and use the GitLab Duo Chat as a personal assistant to navigate through their collaboration and work. Now, I'll be showing you some of these features and you'll see how awesome GitLab Duo Chat can be as a personal assistant. Let's head on to a demo. On the GitLab interface, we'll see the GitLab Duo Chat icon here. Now, once you click on it, the nice interface, responses generated by AI, and here are some examples of the questions that you can ask. How do I change my password in GitLab? How do I fork a project? Or just some other basic questions. Now, but for the purpose of this video, we'll see how we can interact with the rest of the GitLab interface and ask questions based on the context. Because oftentimes when you are designing your prompt, it's all about the context of what the questions that you're asking, and providing AI with more context gives you better responses. Now, so let me close this for a while. Okay, we have an issue here that is over 7 years old, and okay, I don't have a lot of time to read through every single comment. So I can probably get, okay, summary. Let me click on this and say, what is this issue about? Now, you see me using this, that is giving it context. This is the issue I want to talk about. Oftentimes, you can provide the link to a specific issue, but if you are looking at an issue directly, you can ask and give it the context that it is this issue that I'm looking at that I want you to talk about. And you can see here, it says, oh, this issue is a feature proposal to create a dark application theme for GitLab's user interface. The proposal describes the benefits of having dark theme and so on and so forth. You understand? It understood the context that I'm asking. But then, okay, there will have been a lot of conversation there. And I want to probably say, okay, maybe who commented most? Then I will say, okay, who commented most on this issue? Now, just probably, okay, I want to know maybe the conversation definitely is probably someone shared more in the issue. I want to know who the person is and probably see what their get a summary of their comments. Okay, now depending on network and depending on the question and the amount of work that needs to be done, definitely AI has to do a lot of thinking. That's why you see generating answer, producing the answer, and so on. And depending on what you're asking, might take a while for it to get the answers and fine-tune the response. It says, I don't see how I can help with that. Please give better instruction. Yeah, okay, let me refine my question. Now, who commented most here? Okay, let me see. Probably to give me a better answer. Okay, yeah, finally. It was able to, after asking the question differently, it was able to give me an answer. Okay, the user Maxigas made the most comments in this issue 5. Then I can probably say, okay, I want a summary of Maxigas' comment. Can you summarize Maxigas' comments in this issue? Now, okay, it has identified for me who commented most in the issue. Now I want to have a summary of all the comments that they made. You can also ask other relevant questions based on context. GitLab Duo Chat has access to issues, has access to epics, has access to files, has access to the GitLab CI script. And increasingly, as more features are being introduced, more functionalities are being introduced into the GitLab Duo Chat. Now, we can see here that it has provided us a summary of Maxigas' comments. Maxigas has created a dark theme browser extension user style for GitLab and shared it in the comments, along with instructions on how to use it. He also posted a screenshot showing how it looks. He's planning to make it available on userstyles.org. For now, it requires either, so he has contributed a usable dark mode as a stopgap until GitLab itself supports dark themes natively. This is definitely an old issue, and GitLab already has dark themes natively. So now this is for issues. You can switch to epics. You can probably switch to epics too. The same thing can apply to epics. And like, okay, this is an epic from like 6 months ago, and you can ask the same thing. What is this epic about? Maybe something like, okay, what is this epic about? And definitely, just like we've seen with issues, it can be able to provide you a summarized answer of exactly what the epic is about. So that the main thing here is boosting your productivity. As a personal assistant, it should be able to summarize and give you straight to the point answer without you having to spend hours in the comments, reading through the comment. And you see, it's giving us the epic is about handling embedding storage for GitLab Chat in self-managed and GitLab dedicated installations. And it gives a little more details for you to better understand the contents of the epic. Now, you can also pick, like we've seen about Maxigas, you can pick certain users where you want to learn more about what they had to say in the comments. Now, other things that you can do is probably you're not picking a specific user's comment. You can say, okay, summarize the comments in this epic. Let me summarize the comments in this epic. That means, okay, I'm not after a specific user's comment. I want all the comments in the epic to be summarized so that I can have like a bullet point short list TLDR okay, this is everything that was said in the epic. As we can see here, it has provided us with a summary of all the discussions that have happened in the epic. The epic comments summarize discussions and challenges around bringing documentation embeddings to self-managed chat, and a couple of other things. The question that was asked, the thoughts, the thoughts, and an action item that have been specified, even with links to specific things, merge requests that are being used to take action on the project. Now, the GitLab Duo Chat doesn't just work with issues and epics. We can go to a project, a file. Okay, let's say for example, I come to the GitLab project itself and I'm like, okay, let me look around. I'm spending some time to learn more about the project, and I go to the app, or maybe enter controllers, okay, then enter clusters, for example, and I open clusters controller. Interesting. What is all this about? And so on. Read through the whole thing. And I see destroy. I want to understand what the destroy method is doing. Now, what does the destroy function do in this file? And it should understand the context. It should know the file that I'm looking at, and it should know that it's probably a Ruby script, and it should be able to provide me an answer. Okay, let me rephrase it. Can you explain what the destroy method in this file does? Now, after rephrasing and it to a different question, it's able to give me an answer. It says the destroy method in the clusters control calls the destroy service to delete cluster resource. It takes in the destroy parameter and so on, providing an explanation of exactly what the destroy is doing. So in summary, it handles deleting and destroying a cluster and related cleanup. Now, that is one of the functions of GitLab Duo Chat. Look at, given the right context, look at the file, look at a part of it, and explain to me what it does in case I don't understand exactly what it's doing. And I can go to a different project and say, okay, let's say I have this project here and I'm looking at the CI. Okay, a lot of things here. I don't understand what it does. I can ask GitLab Duo Chat to explain to me what the file is doing. Can you explain what this file does? Let's see if it will answer a file, or if I will need to add more context and tell it that it's a GitLab CI script. Can you explain this CI script? Yeah. You see, it finally got, I've tweaked my prompt and it finally understood what I wanted. The provided CI script file defines CI/CD pipeline with multiple stages, etc., and so on and so forth. So the way how you can get more efficiency from GitLab Duo Chat while using it to work better within GitLab is to refine your prompt, provide the necessary context. It's all about context for you to be able to understand what you are saying and the right answers that you need to give. There are lots of ways you can experiment with GitLab Duo Chat within the GitLab interface, with issues, with epics, with GitLab CI, with files generally. You can ask it to explain specific parts of a file. And these are just within the GitLab interface. On the web IDE, you can do things like refactor, you can explain this block of code that I've highlighted, and even create tests. For example, I can open this particular file here, edit in Web IDE. And I can say, okay, let me highlight this, open GitLab Duo Chat for me, and /explain. So when I run this, you see, the selected code is defining a job called build in this. You understand? It's explaining every single part of it for me. That is, with / commands, we have /explain, /refactor, /test, and there's /clear for you to clear the chat window. So you can also, let's say for example, this is, let me see if I can find a code that I will ask it to refactor. So I can say, oh, this /refactor. So these are more specific prompts that you can ask it to do certain things without you having to give context. But on the GitLab interface side, you need to come, because it needs to work with a lot of information and understand context to be able to help better. You need to provide context for it. You need to refine your prompt so that it can be able to give you better answers. Experiment with GitLab Duo Chat. Try things out and boost your productivity. And if you find anything interesting, you can always share in the GitLab forum or the GitLab Discord channel. Looking forward to seeing your experiments.